Okay, 1764. Gotta go on bezerk straight away. Okay. How many games? 6,000 games. I better stick to the carol. What am I on now? Not far off 900. I'll check afterwards if my opponent goes berserk every game or just this one. So here, I normally drop back. You can come across as well. I think across and then back. That's depending on what white does. Bring the bishop up, pawn up. Okay, now I'm going to drop back. Try and cover this square. E6. Okay, I'll bring the knight up. Oh, excuse me there. A bit croaky, but I feel alright. And we're just trying to develop and get castled, so if I come up 2 there, you can easily kick the bishop. But there is bishop to f4, isn't there? So here, here, here. That feels like a good structure to me. It stops knight coming in, it would be a good trade. So let's see if we tempt the pawn push, and then we might go forward. We could always drop back again with an extra move. Otherwise, I'm just going to try and castle. Knight out wide, I'll probably just drop the bishop back. Okay, he has indeed done that. So do I go forward and trade that bishop off? Could be dangerous bishop later in the game. Am I missing a trick? Possibly. But it feels playable, so I'm going to play it. I probably shouldn't really pre-move in a rapid game, just in case you miss something. Okay, so I think I just castle now. So that's the objective done. We just got to get the knight into play now and complete our piece development. So here, we could come up and pin the knight now, threaten to take and damage the structure. Or we could just trade naturally this way. Knight up or knight across, does it matter? We can just get a development move and let takes happen. So bishop up, I mean, I guess you can easily guard, can't you? So let's just play knight up. See if he takes. I'll go with the queen if he does. Actually, no, let's not pre-move. We've got an option to pawn. It's got to be the queen though, hasn't it? It's got to be the queen. I don't see the benefit of moving the pawn across. Knight across to try and charge the centre. Get the rooks into the centre. Natural development moves. And then we could prepare a push here. Yeah, I'm just going to play across now. Now we could take with a pawn if he takes, but we'll probably go with a queen to keep his pawn backwards. So the queen feels like the natural move as long as I'm not getting trapped. And there's at least one square here as well as this being covered. Oh, he's hung a pawn there. So is he trying to sack so he can blast forward? But surely I just take. Yeah, I'm going to collect the pawn. If he comes down, I think I just take and try and put my knight safe. I mean, I could even maybe take with a queen, but let's see how he does it. Yeah, and apologies if I'm a bit croaky. I feel alright. It is another little cold spell here for us, but it's not too bad right now. So I like the idea of just simply bringing the queen right back to the center here to stop this push again. Now, knight across could be a move. It might like allow knight down, but then we've got our own knight to come over. So knight across, because he might be looking at knight forward, but queen down would also deal with that. Yeah, I think queen across back to the middle, because I've covered this for a move, and knight across I can then drop back if I need to. I want to figure out what I want to do with these rooks. So do we do this and try and trade? Do we try and work our spare pawn and say, look, it's a spare pawn, so we'll just try and use it? That's what I think I should do. I'm going to move this rook across and try and pressure the pawn. Oh, is he sitting and holding now? Yeah, knight takes is not a move. So knight across, knight down. I don't see the breakthrough. So I think I'm going to push. I think I'll bring the pawn across and try and keep them connected if he trades, and then he'll get an isolated pawn. He could play pawn forward, I guess. I guess he could play pawn forward. He's coming for the trade with the knight. So what am I missing here? Takes. If you go rook takes, I guess I just drop back and I'm still covering here. So takes, rook takes, we just drop back, it looks fine. The queen guards the rook so we don't take. So takes, pawn takes, you've still got these split, and I think we just got queen takes, pawn. We get the pawns doubled up, but it's got to be good for us, it's got to be. But we could just get the queen out of the way if we want to. He has gone with the rook, so we can get the queen forward or we can get back, and back has got to be the right move, I think. Just in case he's getting aggressive here, we've got a powerful piece to defend with. That's what he's done. So I'm just going to come up and hit the rook. Now I'm threatening to capture a pawn, potentially, depending on what he does here. Playing well without the berserk mode, it'd be really difficult to try and convert this, and it might still prove to be. Now here I can come across and get a tempo attacking the rook. That lines up rook forward, but my pawn becomes loose. Capture here, but I think rook across, I don't like the look of that. So I like queen over here. Just get the queen off the firing line. It does loosen this pawn, so you might take and try and grab a pawn, but he doesn't. So what about pushing on now? I think I should do that. Takes. Yeah, it might have been a slight mistake there, but I was attacking his rook, so... If I take now, I'm going to win a pawn, aren't I? Take, 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 take here. It shatters my pawn structure, but it's still a pawn. He doesn't have to take back, though. But surely just rook up. Yeah, I think I'm going to take. I'm going to try and get another pawn. I don't think he'll take here, but he could do. He might not see anything better. Let's just see. Oh, he has taken, so... if we try and get fancy here, that's going to fail, isn't it? So, rook takes, check, rook takes, queen takes. There is a back rank. So it is technically a move, but I don't want to get fancy in case I miscalculate. No, he's only got one move there. Why is he thinking? That looks odd, doesn't it? That looks unusual. Why was he thinking so long there when he's only got one move? He only literally had one playable move, but I guess it wasn't mega long. Now, queen across just invites trouble with rook over, but I'd like to get something here. Can't get the rook across just yet, so what about queen back to hit the pawn with a view to rook over? Kingside looks reasonably safe, but if I come back, queen down... Yeah, maybe queen back. I'm just going to go more cautious here, because I've gained 2 pawns, so I'm going to try and be cautious with the defense and try and just maybe push these pawns up the board. Even if we trade off 2 for 1, we're still a pawn up, but that would be difficult to win. But we're still a pawn up. So he's played queen over, so I'm just going to push my pawn up. I've just got to be careful about the pawn getting in 3 squares. So he attacks my rook, so I will move the rook across. Now we're threatening a check. I'd love to get the queen off the board. It'd be much easier to convert if the queen comes off. Remove a lot of the risk. If this pawn pushes, I'll probably have to counter, but then you're open to maybe sacrifices and repetitions, so it's not easy. Okay, comes across to hit the pawn, but now I can check. You have to come up. Check here, and then I can drop the rook from the other side. So that's got to be good as a principle. So check, queen here, and then rook back, and I'm really solid. He might have this, but he's got to think about his defense. So, I mean, I could play queen here, or... No, if I block with a rook, he can't go here. What am I doing? I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, so I like rook back here, but the more aggressive move might be to go here and hit 2 pawns. So here, we're threatening to take with a check. He's got rook back, but a trade should be good for us, should be. Now, is queen up a more telling move? Because if the queen doesn't trade and you wander off, there's a corner checkmate threat. So queen up might be the move here. He's got no obvious checks at all. If he takes, I just come back with my rook. If you go across, I can come defend, and then I can step behind. That should be good. Yeah, I'm going to go this way. I guess even if I trade a pawn for another pawn, it should be good. Oh, he's missed it. He just didn't see the checkmate threat. Unlucky there, yeah. Without berserk mode, that could have been a tougher game. You can see he's got the fundamentals of being a good player there, so well done. So we'll pause it. We'll just see how it was in engine speak. So 34 moves. So they're the move times for both players there. So let's just see what this was in engine language. That's the little berserk symbol, if you've not seen that before, next to our opponent there. Just a 1 move blunder at the end. Oh yeah, we have messed it up there. We've been much better, much better. After the opening, we're a little bit worse. We've gained much better, +3, and then it's come back to level, so we have made a bit of a mess of it somewhere there. So 90% versus 82 on the accuracy, so we'll have a quick flick through. So just having a glance, where the one who blundered first actually was c5. So let's just have a quick flick through to get there. You know, the pawn is normally the right move. I know this is -1 for black in engine language. It's just to get out of the more standard theory a bit early. And here I normally drop back, but coming across is fine as well. They're basically about the same on the evaluation. I'm just trying to get a playable position, get castled, then worry about what to do. So you're just trying to complete piece development. It feels like we've got a nice, sensible, stable position. I didn't like the idea of taking with either pawn there, though. I think they created issues. So we're all fine up to here. This is the first inaccuracy for our opponent, but there's still nothing really much happening. Just simple development moves. You know, trying to deal with common sense defense there. And we're just coming up to this point now where we've got the blunder. Yeah, I should have gone back here and not worried about an attack. You know, I was just looking at a move like queen down because of the pin. Then you might try and find a way to get in, march the pawn down, sack and play for repetition. But no, queen to b6 to hit the pawn was the correct move to do there, instead of going a little bit too defensive, which I did do. Then here, I should not have played c5. It's actually considered a blunder. I should have played rook to b8. So why? So rook to b8. b3, queen up, so 2 attack it, 2 defend. Our pawn is loose there, so I guess if you take, there must be a back rank issue. Up and you take here or something. Must be something like that, right? But it recommends rook across, check, king up, check, back, then c5. Okay, I didn't see all of this, of course, so that's why I didn't play it like this. So c5 doesn't feel like a blunder to me, but the engine tells me that it is. Then opponent has blundered straight back because of missing rook across. Again, at our level, these don't feel like blunders to me, but obviously in engine language it is, so it gives us that 3-point lead again. And then it just comes down to a one-move blunder. Obviously we're a couple of pawns up, and then I've seen this threat here. So yeah, it was a mistake going here, but not a blunder, just a mistake. But an opponent's just simply not seen the checkmate threat. So you should have traded the queen. But I should have played queen forward too to hit the pawn and then get the trade that way and advance the pawns. This is what I should have done according to the engine. But I'm at my level, I'm quite happy with how I played it there. And like I said, it's just a one-move blunder at the end. So unfortunately, really down to berserk mode. But not a bad game at our level there. But you can see my opponent, like I say, he's got the fundamentals being a good play there. So difficult game, so well done.